Hello. We're gonna do just a really quick reading because I actually really want to go to sleep. I have a hot date with my babe. So, this is gonna be for Jupiter. Jupiter wasn't gonna let me get through today without doing this reading. We have Black Hole coming out immediately. That's the first card out for Jupiter. This is Subjugation. I'm gonna leave that there for a moment until I get the rest of the cards out. Just reserve judgment. Then you can put out as many cards as you want. Ooh, transition. That's what I mean. So this, whatever black hole energy this is, it's like it's meeting a comet. It's encountering a comet. It's in the middle of eating is what I'm getting. She really wants to step on this and stop the reading. Oh, her stuff. She's knocking stuff over. Okay, and then we have the four forces, which is electromagnetism. That's kind of significant. She's sitting here digging through a Converse box that I have full of stuff that I like. It's not Converses, but I want you to look at this again. Oops, this is the way it came out. The black hole or subjugation is transitioning to be force. Okay, there's something about the transference of energy that is going to pick up a lot of speed and a lot of direction right now. The black hole isn't moving at a slow pace. This incubus succubus energy coming from this thing is so strong that it's now sucking in the four forces. These are on opposite sides at this point. This is coming for that. It'll happen. It'll get there. Don't worry about it. But in the meantime, it's got to eat up a lot of comets, a lot of things that we're trying to influence it one way or the other. Force perception. This black hole is undergoing a very strong electromagnetic undertaking. It's it's the equivalent of if you've ever seen Jupiter ascending, she doesn't like grow wings, like grow pretty wings and fly away into the universe. She has to have her protector do the flying. It's like Tinkerbell and Peter Pan. Yeah, there's evolution at the top of the read. This evolution is happening on a universal scale. It's every single part of everything that's ever been since the Big Bang is having a disappearance and arrival. It's almost like you know how nobody's able to get through a black hole. No one knows what's on the other side of it. It's almost like a comet made it through. Something in the comment section made it through. Something about this force, this perception, the way someone has perceived something has completely shifted. It's almost like, I don't know if you've ever had this happen before, but if you've known somebody, right, and you think you have a pretty good grasp on who they are, and you're like, okay, I'm going to establish how I feel about things, and then compare notes, right? Because that's what you do in a complete relationship. These 3 steps are kind of the 3 cards that came out. So this is the top and the bottom of the read for Jupiter. Jupiter is so massive that it's almost able to embody like a solid, fluid, and like an air state all at one time, just like we have here in in the United States. Just put it like that. On this planet right now, I'm just only going to speak for us because I don't know. So that being the case, there's it's almost like there's a complete vacuum, like a complete seal over the entire planet. I don't know why I'm seeing this as being Jupiter. It's the body of work. That's what it is. And it's got transitional states that are really bright, but also really red shifted, which means it's moving. I think it's away from us, might be towards us. I can't. It's red shift though, and that means it's either moving very rapidly towards us or away from us, one or the other, right? That's this black hole. It's the force of the black hole. It's pulling at this energy. It's pulling at this wisdom so that it can accelerate through time and space, pick up whatever commentary is being made, and then make a forceful decision about it. It's like, this is what's going in the black hole. This is what's coming out. This is what's spewing out of there. Like, could be a whole bunch of vomit for all we know. Things could come out as vomit on the other side. I don't know. All I'm trying to tell you is that there's like something coming out kind of almost violently, and it's commentary, and it has to be forceful. That's the nature of this evolution thing. People just don't change by themselves. They change when they're ready to. So this has gone from the entrance of the black hole, the weak force, right? That's the weak part, through these 3 stages. And now it's coming out the other side like chopped up. You feel me? All this that was in there, in here now, being reborn through the word or commentary or something. I don't know. It isn't, I don't feel that this is like a spiritual anomaly. This is simply the way things are. There's going to be a weak force, which is evolution, that's going to then change its perception. As you evolve, so does your perception. So do your experiences. The stages of life, not really. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. Chronologically speaking, you can live those out however you like. I think some people do live it in a very different order, and that's fine. That's just fine. Like I was saying, this is not a discussion, it's a statement. The Earth has those 3 different components that are also on Jupiter. Interesting. My cat just stole some silverware, servietas. She's like thinking that she's gonna just like discreetly disappear with those. She's not. She's not even supposed to be on the counter. Culmination, right? So that's what I mean. Is this completion? It's the wow energy. It's the first cry of a baby, but it's also the last sigh of like an elderly person as they're passing, you know? And it's every breath in between. So it's the birth to the death date. This Jupiter has like the contracts that you verbally, spiritually, physically made, right? And those contracts are either fulfilled or they're not. But when they're not fulfilled, you're not required to do anything about it, but you should. To take things from a weak force to a strong force. It's like I saw this saying one time about a breakup, right? And it was a woman just saying, like, you're gonna call me a bitch anyway. It wasn't Megan Thee Stallion, I swear. Maybe it was another earth sign. But it was just one of those things where it's like, I know that you're gonna degrade me, so let me degrade you to your face and like get it out of my system, and then we're good. That's literally that's a truer or a more real state of being than it is to not say anything. That's turbulence, but this turbulence came out kind of in reverse. It is hard to hear the truth, but you also are doing yourself a huge favor. Because unless you would like to waste more time, yeah, unless you would like to waste more time, just cut it out. That's basically it. This Jupiter ascending reading was quite interesting. Yeah, there's like a real need for Jupiter ascending power to be reactivated, and that's really weird because there's a scene in that movie that I really like where she's standing in the garden and she's talking about being independent and being free or having to report to these other forces that are just out there that have expectations of her, that are competing with her, and she didn't even know she had like a title card or anything like that. It's just one of those it's a moment of growth that Mila Kunis' character had to go through, and she wasn't like boastful about it, but it was also just like quiet victory while she was scrubbing toilets. But this, it's almost like this comes out the other side ready to be reformed, recreated, reimagined, revamped, reconceptualized, reidealized. It's all of those things are the forces that change the stagnation. You go from stagnation to evolution. You go from stagnation to evolution, and that's that. So there's nothing wrong with that, but it is when people are fibbing about the state of where they are, you're taking someone's free will on purpose, which is such a big problem. Like, I think even I just don't see that as, yeah, turbulence in the upright for sure this time. That's the problem with this trajectory. You can't send turbulence through a black hole. It's like sending a bomb through a black hole to see if you can collapse it. Well, if there was anything living inside of there, now there's not. Jupiter is the planet that opposes Venus a little bit. Not in a bad way, but just questions Venus in a healthy way. Challenges Venus to say, like, what kind of organization do you have, right? And Venus is supposed to respond by sending us a message, in theory. Yeah, there's the power. This is the power of Venus. But when Jupiter doesn't have that organization, they can't get to the power. They're not able to. So you can marry a volcano spirit. Let's just say we're talking about spirits, right? Yeah, look, you could marry a volcano spirit if you wanted to. Could be a relationship right there. However, if you're the kind of person that likes to provoke energies, you can't be with somebody like this that has the power of lava or volcanoes at their fingers. Because if they were raised this way, when you say jump, they're going to say how high. Whereas that's funny to somebody who's never seen someone jump. This is a real live, like, lava flow. That's Yellowstone to the system. So if we're going to be at max volume, yelling our lungs out, we probably don't want to be here too. Like, angry about things because there's no organization in the relationship. If there's no organization in the relationship, it really means that we just shouldn't have one to a certain degree. Like, friendships, you can have less organization than like a lover. A lover, you can have less organization than like, or different organization than your family, but it doesn't mean that they're separate. if that makes sense. They're all interconnected, which is the mystery. Some people don't understand that. You can't do one without the other. It's love and marriage, right? Can't have one without the other. It's intensity. And that's the mystery. Why does it have to be so intense? Why does it have to feel like X, Y, That's the reason why Mila Kunis' character has a protector. And he didn't necessarily like her, actually. When you go back and watch, they had chemistry, but it wasn't, like, he didn't actually agree. Like, I don't think he was necessarily, like, her type, or that she was necessarily his. I just think it was an assignment that ended up being a little bit more fiery than anticipated, right? And that's kind of what we do with love on this planet. We're just like, oh, okay, well, this is apparently what people do to be happy and to find fulfillment and satisfaction as they get married and have kids, and that's the recipe. So we do it, and we don't really think much about why we're doing it. Is that sincerely making you happy? This isn't even part of this deck, but it seems like it wants to show its mouth. There you go. So it's kind of this energy like moving on. How do we address this in a different way than to end up needing therapy because of each other? I would really like to not need that. Oh, here's the Hermit. I am saying that I would like to not need that. However, the point here is for this fiery energy not to be lost, for it to be a standalone like a volcano. We can occupy the same continent together and explode around the same time, but maybe not like live right on top of each other. I don't know what a super volcano consists of, but I do know that if it's like having two volcanoes built on top of each other, probably not. You see that ton of fire? No. Especially if most of your time is spent alone. You already know better than to interrupt your own peace like that. You interrupt it for 24 hours or less and then let it go. Serious. Give yourself a time limit. Like, don't actually yeah, there you go. Night of fire. Yeah, do what you gotta do, but don't feel any kind of pressure from it. It's very unnecessary and super. That's what I mean by, are we really investing in something? Or is that really just trauma bonding? This fell right on top. 4 of air. Someone's waiting. Because they're restless, passionate, adventurous, self-assured, whatever. But it's like time to take a vacation. That's what this 4 of air is, like rest and relaxation. This is not a time to stress yourself. Missing out on an opportunity. Yep. And someone can't even say that they didn't do it to themselves. This is the 10 of fire, Knight of fire, 4 of air, and 4 of water. It was like an idea that just ended up being emotional. Air and water was just an emotional, like, drink to the face or something, It wasn't really productive. Yeah, there you go. There's a 6 of air. Knowing what's not productive is also productive. So that's the victory right here, is the 10-4-4. Now you